start off, I taped together 2 pieces of white paper and I kind of just freehanded the shape of a ghost. Then I folded the paper in half and trimmed it just so I wanted to make sure they were even on both sides. And then I have 2 pieces of white fabric. You could even use an old t-shirt for this. And I just used a pencil to outline my ghost onto the fabric. Now I'm just going to pin them together so when I'm cutting it out, everything stays right where it should. Now we are going to cut out our ghost shape, but I'm not going to cut out right on that pencil line. I'm going to give it about a 1/4 inch for a seam allowance. That way when we sew the ghost, we can just sew directly on that pencil outline. Now we are going to sew the ghost along that pencil outline, but I'm going to leave about 2 inches not sewed on the bottom. That way we can stuff our ghost. You definitely don't need a sewing machine. You could absolutely do this by hand. I have before, but a sewing machine does make it a lot quicker. After sewing, I turned the ghost right side out and I stuffed it, and now I'm just going to hand sew the remaining 2-inch opening closed with some white thread. I just cut out 2 eyes and a mouth from some black felt. If you don't have black felt, you could just use some black paint. And I also have a little scrap of fabric here that I'm going to make a no-sew bow with for the top of our pillow. So I just have a rectangle, any size will do, just the bigger the scrap, then the bigger the bow you're going to make. So I folded it in half first just to kind of make a seam as a guide. And then I opened it back up and I'm folding it towards that seam. Then we're basically going to do that again. So just fold it in half and press down just to make a bit of a seam. And then you're going to open it back up and now bring both of those edges to the center. And I like to put a little bit of hot glue here just so it's easier. And you'll see that it is a little bit unfinished on the back part here, but since we're going to be gluing it to the pillow, it's okay, you won't see it. So I'll just push that down there, and I'm going to set this aside just for a second. You're also going to need another piece of fabric, a little tiny rectangle, and this is going to be the piece that holds the bow together in the center. So I just fold that in half. And we're gonna kind of repeat that process, bring the 2 outsides to the center. And you could also just put a little dab of hot glue to help it hold. And now you're going to grab your other fabric and we're just going to try and fold it almost like an accordion to make a bow shape. So I kind of pinch the center and then bring the 2 sides towards it. I'll show you that again. Just kind of pinch in the center, push down the top, and then kind of just into an accordion fold. And then I like to put a little dab of hot glue in the center and squeeze just so it makes it a little bit easier to hold. You're now going to grab that extra piece of fabric and we're going to wrap it around the bow. And we're going to secure it together in the back to hold the bow together. Now we have our finished stuffed ghost pillow. 2 eyes, a mouth, and a bow. And to secure these all together, I'm just going to use some hot glue. You can sew them on, but I find that the hot glue does work really well. step is to make a banner. So I cut out 3 triangles from some extra burlap I had, and I just hand painted the word boo onto it with some acrylic paint. And then I had a piece of twine. So I'm just going to put some hot glue on the back of each banner and glue it onto the string. I like to fold over the edge so it looks a bit more finished. Just be really careful because hot glue does seep through burlap very easily. Now I'm just going to secure the boo banner to my ghost pillow with some more hot glue. So I just put a little bit on the back of each triangle and kind of just press it into the center of the pillow. I didn't love the way that the strings looked on the side, so I actually did end up trimming them at the end, but I don't think the pillow needs it. I actually think it looks better like this. And that is it. You have your finished ghost pillow.